and you'll have a nice warm house. Welcome back to Retire Too Soon, and today I'm going to go over the most efficient way that I have found to heat your house with a wood stove. Let's jump into it. Welcome back, boys and girls. I'd like to go over a few techniques that I've learned about heating my house here in Alaska while we're enjoying these warm temperatures outside. Let's go over the most efficient way that I found to heat the house, and I'll give you guys a few tips along the way. The first tip I have is to clean the glass. It doesn't help heat the house, but it does make looking at the fire a whole lot more enjoyable. What you can do is take a towel or a paper towel, get it slightly wet, and then you're going to put some ashes from a previous fire and rub it on the glass. With the friction of the ash, it helps remove all the buildup that you get. Tip number 2, you want to keep this clean and you want to make sure you have good airflow. I put in 2 strips of square metal so it holds the wood up and provides airflow to go all the way around the wood. A good way to substitute firewood is use pellets. They're dry and they're made out of sawdust. You can find it at your local box store. They're cheap and you want to find the ones that are 100% sawdust. Don't waste your money on this to try to do 100% pellets. It's a waste of time and a waste of your money. Instead, what you want to do, you want to put the pellets on the bottom. Then you want to get yourself some fire starter. You pick it up in any local box store. What I do is I break it off. Out of this one, I'll get 4. So break it in a quarter so it looks like that. Then you want to get your wood. The wood should be dried, not wet, so it should be very light. You want to stack it up, make sure there's plenty of air that can get around, yet the flame still hits the wood. Next you want to light it. I use this torch, this makes it really convenient. Now that you got the fire starter going, you want to close the door and make sure it's cracked so it would draw some air in. You want to get yourself a stove thermometer so you can keep an eye on the temperature. Make sure you're not overheating it and you're not running it cold. So let it get warmed up. Every stove is different. You want to give it about 5-10 minutes, let it heat up and get lit. Also, with it being cold outside, you might have a draft coming down the chimney and you're going to want to heat up the chimney a little bit so you don't get smoke in the house. So you want it to draw up the stack. So you got to heat it up a little bit and then you can close the door. That's when you're going to notice that the actual temperature is going to start to rise. While this is heating up, I'll give you guys a few more tips. You guys should purchase a fan that goes on top of the stove. It doesn't require any electricity. It operates off of heat. I'll try to put up a picture of it right now. I don't currently have one, but on the back of this stove, there's an electric fan that blows the heat in the room. When it gets up to about 350, I normally turn on the fan on the back of the stove. Right now that it's starting to get warmed up, you're going to want to get it into the orange, which is going to be roughly about 425, and it goes up to about 650, but your goal is about 450, 500 is a good place to be. So it stays nice and warm, but yet it doesn't overheat. You want to turn on the fan, or if you already have the fan that doesn't require electricity going, then it's pushing air into the room. Once it's blowing air in the room, if you have a hallway or a long space, you want to place a fan at the end of the hallway blowing towards the fireplace. The goal is to take all the cold air from down there, push it down here, which will exchange with hot air. You want to make sure you have all your doors open so every room that you want to keep heated stays hot. So the big part is make sure you blow the cold air towards the fireplace so the hot air can exchange with it. Now that you have a beautiful fire going and you're getting some hot coals, if you want, you can throw in more pellets. Just make sure you don't smother it. I've noticed that it's more efficient that way. You'll probably use about 80% less firewood if you want to invest more into pellets. Also, I've noticed that it burns a lot more efficient and it gets a lot hotter using pellets compared to just firewood. As I said earlier, every fireplace is different, so it might be little bit different with yours. I have tried using just pellets and I've noticed it hasn't really got that hot. But mixing the two is definitely the way to go. Make sure you circulate the air and you'll have a nice warm house and you can enjoy a nice fire. Alright boys and girls, I hope that was helpful. Give you guys a few tips of mine to keep yourself warm, nice and cozy this winter. If it was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe, check out my channel. Until the next video, thanks for watching. Bye.